Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Jane. I'm currently an MB-PhD student at UCL in London. Anyway, welcome to my medical school / MB-PhD application advice series. If you want to get into medical school in the UK, here are the 5 things you need to do. Now, please note, this is a very basic overview for those who may be interested in applying to medical school, but don't know anything about the process at all. Well, the fact is, medicine is a highly competitive degree, very hard to get into, and chances are that everyone you'll be competing with will probably have done all 5 of the following. Number 1, get good grades at GCSE and A Level. I know, it's a cop-out, it's very obvious. Given the demanding nature of the degree, this is kind of a given, right? Different medical schools do have different entry requirements in terms of the GCSE and A Level grades that they require, as well as the specific A Level subjects that you may have to take. In terms of A Level subjects, most people do some combination of biology and chemistry with maths or physics, or something else like psychology. Now, I did biology, chemistry and maths for A Level and psychology for AS. Make sure you check the individual requirements of the medical school you'll be applying for, because they may tell you if they require a particular subject like A Level chemistry. In terms of grades, most medical schools in the country require at least 3 A, some require an A star or even 2 A stars, but check the individual requirements of the school that you're applying for. But anyway, there's nothing wrong with aiming as high as possible, and the higher the better, right? Number 2, get good entrance test scores. This will be the UK CAT or BMAT for undergraduate medicine, though the BMAT is apparently being discontinued from 2024. We'll have to see what Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial, UCL and other schools that currently use the BMAT end up doing then. And for grad med, typically you'd sit the UK CAT or the GAMSAT. Now, each medical school will only require one of the above exams to be sat, not all of them, and they also will have different cut-off scores in terms of a selection criteria. Historical cut-off scores might be available online on other websites, you can go and have a look for them in case you want to use them as a guidance, but yeah, again, as with grades, look at the requirements of the individual medical school. Just a quick note on the entrance exams. I personally sat the UK CAT and BMAT back in my day, which was 9 years ago now. I'm not going to talk about the BMAT because it's apparently not going to be a thing anymore. But the UK CAT, just briefly, the UK CAT has 5 sections: verbal, quantitative, abstract reasoning, decision analysis and situational judgment. These respectively examine your reading comprehension, basic math skills, pattern recognition, logical thinking, and your ability to make reasonable choices in certain circumstances. This exam isn't testing any knowledge. It's just testing how fast you can correctly answer the questions. And now, because of this, some people therefore assume that you can't really revise for it because there is no knowledge to revise, which is absolutely not true. Though there is no knowledge to revise, you can and must practice your exam technique by doing questions again and again and again until you become slick at correctly answering as many as possible within the time limit that you have. Now, the UK CAT is a self-organised exam, and it has to be sat the summer of the same year that you apply to medical school. Just a quick note on the GAMSAT. I didn't actually sit this exam because I applied and got accepted to undergraduate medicine, and the GAMSAT is for graduate entry medicine. GAMSAT appears to be the graduate version of the BMAT that I did sit. The GAMSAT has 3 sections: reasoning in humanities and social sciences, a scientific knowledge section, and an essay writing section. GAMSAT is an exam that you can theoretically revise a little more for. There is a scientific knowledge section that apparently assesses undergraduate level first year biology and chemistry and A-level physics, but as with the UK CAT, you should just practice as many questions as you can before the exam. You can register to sit the GAMSAT in March or September, and your score is apparently valid for up to 2 years. The next 3 things I'm going to be talking about are to go on your personal statement, which is the other part of the application process, besides your school grades and entrance test scores. Okay, number 3. Relevant work experience. Generally, this is important to show that you've actually considered what a career in medicine may look like by shadowing someone who works in it. For example, a doctor on a hospital ward, or a GP in a medical practice, or a surgeon in theatre. But of course, this isn't always as easy to get, particularly if you don't have the right connections. Trust me, I know. But I will say that it's not entirely necessary that you get medical experience, as work experience and volunteering placements in places that exhibit the human side of skills necessary to be a doctor, for example, empathy, communication, etc., those placements are equally as valuable. This is to say, it doesn't necessarily matter what experience you get, but it's important that you get something. What matters is how you talk about it in your personal statement. But more on this in another video. Okay, number 4, academic extracurricular activities. This is particularly important for the medical schools that are more research heavy, where they likely will have a preclinical-clinical divide, which emphasises the importance they place on 3 years of lectures and understanding the science behind disease processes and drugs and medicine in general. The medical schools I'm thinking of are Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial and UCL. To my knowledge, these are the only medical schools in the country where they do a 6-year medical degree because they have the compulsory bachelor's year, where you have to do some sort of research. Other medical schools, it's optional. So it's important to demonstrate an interest not just in the clinical side of medicine, but also the more scientific side. How can you show your interest in this? Have you conducted a literature review or done some research as part of a work experience placement or a university summer school that you may have been a part of? You read something interesting in a scientific magazine like The New Scientist? Is there a new medical advancement or technology or a new drug on the market? Have you read any other books on medical topics that may interest you, like cancer or Alzheimer's disease? Are there any lectures that you've been to? Lectures? Yes, lectures. So back when I was in 6th form, some 8 to 9 years ago now, my friends and I, we went to a school in London, and so we used to come to UCL for the Friday evening lectures that they specifically put on for Year 12 and 13 students. That's actually where I first saw a poster for the MB-PhD programme and where I first heard about it. It is actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to come to UCL and what I cited in my interview at the time. It's funny to think that if I hadn't come to that lecture, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. I probably would have graduated medical school 2 years ago, probably would have been making some money as a doctor now instead of being the broke student that I am, but oh well. Anyway, how have you shown your interest in the scientific side of medicine outside of your A-level curriculum? Number 5, non-academic extracurricular activities. Now, the purpose of these activities is to build a portfolio of skills that will be relevant and applicable to your life as both a medical student and doctor one day. For example, resilience, hard work, team working skills, communication skills, time management, ability to have a work-life balance. Now, here are some examples of activities you could do that could showcase some of the aforementioned skills. So, learning an instrument and taking part in a sport after school, competitively or not. These relatively non-academic things can contribute to your work-life balance. Also, perhaps maybe a good example of discipline that you might have shown to become better at your instrument or sport over time. Duke of Edinburgh expeditions, or being involved in the running of a school society or the school magazines can showcase your teamwork and leadership skills. Being able to juggle any of those things alongside your normal schoolwork, especially for getting good grades in school, shows your ability to manage time effectively. Anyway, those were just the examples I had. Okay, and there we have it, the 5 things you need to do to get into medical school. Now, different medical schools do weigh these 5 things up differently. Some medical schools may screen applicants for interview entirely based on entrance exam scores. Others will look at your GCSE and A-level grades. Some medical schools will look at everything. Anyway, that is all I have for this video. If you are in year 10 or above and are looking to apply to medical school in the UK, I hope you found this video useful. Alright, that is all. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye for now!